again. So we're back again with the JVC. I've tested it after resoldering those potentiometers that I thought may be causing some problems the other day. Obviously no difference, unfortunately. So what I'm going to be doing today is removing the servo board and removing and replacing, if I have suitable replacements, any of the purple Matsushita capacitors. I've been advised by a good friend of mine who works on various electrical items, consumer electricals a lot, that the purple Matsushita items are not particularly reliable. So things that I've tried with this machine, I've tried a different pinch roller. I wanted to try a different drum motor, but I was advised that that may not necessarily be the issue, so I haven't gone ahead and tried that as yet, although I do have the spare one from the 3V22 which I could use and try. But I want to see if replacing the capacitors, there are a number of those purple capacitors on the board, would actually yield any results. So the servo board on this unit is mounted on the back of the machine. The other issue I seem to have is I don't have any composite video. Now I'm not sure if that is related to a problem here or elsewhere, so that may be something else I need to look at. RF video does appear to be fine, so, and I'm getting a clear test signal, and I'm also getting audio, so I'm not certain that the two problems are linked, although you can never be too sure with these things. This actually folds out quite nicely. So that is the, I think that is the drum Hall effect sensor. So we'll just unplug each of these. Let's just check. Yes, they are. So we have 7371, 4143. So we need to remember where these two go. So that one is there, that one is there. If we remember, yellow is closest to me, green is furthest away from me. So what I want to do is get the board out of the machine completely. We have a number of larger connectors down the bottom. Which are now out of the way. We've got a whole nest of those purple capacitors as well, so I'm hoping that we have suitable replacements. What I'll be doing after replacing each one is measuring capacitance and ESR values across the old ones to see if that was indeed, if it was indeed a dodgy capacitor. So that is the board removed from the deck. And we do have quite a few of these capacitors. I'm hoping that I do have suitable replacements. So we're looking at 47 microfarads, 10 microfarads, 10, quite a few 10s. What's that one? That one is, that's another 10. That's a 47, 40, that's another 47, another 0.47. What else have we got? Another 10, and various others. So let's have a look at this board. See if we can identify. So we do have a large bulk of them up around here. Can't really tell what section of the board that is, unfortunately. So what we're going to have to do is just go ahead and unsolder and replace these. So let's go and fire up the soldering iron. So whilst waiting for the soldering iron to warm up, we do have this dead wasp, which is, or is it a bee? I'm not sure. Its outer skin and legs remain, and its wings, but the rest of it is obviously decomposed. So that's a lovely thing to find. And that was nestled down here, I think. So I don't know if that's been causing problems. Literally a bug in the machine, which is where the actual term comes from. In the olden days of mainframes, if you had a bug crawl in there, it would short something out. Usually sort of something inside there, which would cause a valve to blow. And that would be termed as a bug in the machine, which later turned to a bug in the software or a bug in firmware, and that's where it all sort of comes from. A literal bug. Anyway, let's go and dispose of that. So we're going to start with C51, which is the one we removed yesterday. Noting the polarity, so minus is to left as I look at it from top down. Right, so that is this one. Remembering minus to the left. We are looking at a 10 microfarad at 16 volts. What do we have in here? A 10 microfarad at 50 volts, which should be fine. So minus on this one is this side, shorter leg, denotes negative. Sometimes it marks it up on the board. It certainly does on the Sony C7 and C5, but I can't see that marked on here. Also need to be careful because there is a little bridge of solder between the two tracks which I need to get rid of. Or is it a bridge? Is it just, no, it's a little line. It's just my imagination. Right, let's solder that new one in. Also remembering we had the negative to the left, so we go there, and a blob of solder there. There we go. And if I just find a suitable scraping tool, just to scrape away bits of the flux. Right, that is that one out of the way. Let's measure this one. We measured it yesterday and it did seem to be okay, but I'd be interested to see if we are getting the same values today, which I expect we are. So it's 10.78 microfarads. ESR is 2.1 ohms. They say that the ESR value should be 2 ohms or lower. So that one is a little bit high. Let's try this one. May not give a proper reading because it's in circuit, but I'd be interested to see. Yeah, that one's not reading correctly because it's in circuit, so let's take one of its companions. It should give us broad reading. Yeah, there you go. although it says the ESR on that one is 3.1 ohms, so that's not great. Not certain if this tester is really that good, to be honest with you. Although it's given us a basic idea. Right, so let's chop the legs off of that capacitor. One, and there's the other. Let's take a look at that to see. Okay, get something in there just to scrape that away. Don't want that making contact with the one next to it. And that's fine. Okay, this next one is another 10 microfarad one. So we need to remember that on this one, negative is that pin there. So this pin here, let's zoom in and see if we can get more action close up. So we're looking at C50. This pin here is the negative pin, so that's the one furthest away from me. If you look at the back of the capacitor there, you can see that that's the negative one. So let's get that one out. I'll be honest with you, I'm not one for blanket replacing capacitors. It's not a particularly brilliant troubleshooting methodology, but at this stage, having tried a number of other things, it's one of the few troubleshooting steps I've got left. So some of you may be interested to learn a bit more about the oscilloscope I was using yesterday to limited effect, so I think I need a different probe for it. It is a Teleequipment D43. Quite a bit of information about it seems to actually reside online, which I was quite pleased with, as I didn't realise that they were quite so popular, but apparently so. They are, or were, sort of used quite extensively quite a number of years ago. I think mine dates from the early 1970s, so it is quite an old unit, and one of the more basic ones I've been advised, so that's nice to know. The S43 is apparently a single beam model, which was quite interesting to sort of realise. Let's just try this one again. Mine is apparently a dual beam model, so I haven't actually managed to get a second beam up on it, so it would be interesting to know if that is indeed the case. Let's just try this one again. Right, it's measuring 10.81 microfarads, ESR 3 ohms, so that is possibly a bit high. Let's bring out another one, so I'm connecting negative to green. And this red one there. Let's hit start. Actually, let's dispense of that. Let's dispense of that completely, and let's measure it directly in the socket to I'd be interested to see if that gives us different results. (10.25 microfarads, ESR of 2.8 ohms. Not convinced that that will be any good, but it's brand new, so you would hope it would be. Okay, so we have negative to the back. So let's pop that back in. Negative to the rear. So I have used these capacitors quite successfully on other projects like the C7, so I don't really sort of have any doubt that they are good to go. Alright, that's that one, I think. Just freshen up the solder joints on this one. There we go. Alright. Okay, let's chop out that one. So there. There. I was carrying this unit in earlier and I was thinking, why am I bothering? I've got other VCRs which are much better, newer, and technically more interesting, but the thing is, this is in such nice condition, and it is one of the early high feature decks. It's one of the first decks that was sort of quite, sort of quite well featured, quite high feature. So it's just sort of a nice thing to have in my collections. I don't really have any other piano keys. If it doesn't work and I end up not really getting anywhere with it, then I'll just call it time and see if I can sort of use some of the casing to fit one of the 3V22s that I've got. Right, so I've got another. Which one are we looking at here? This one is another 10 microfarad C45. I think that one is. Yep, that's C45, and we are looking at minus is going to be furthest away, so it's going to be C45. It's going to be that one there. If I zoom in again, not sure if you can see C45, so we do get quite grainy at this level of zoom. C45 is here. Oh, just out of shot. Let's pan out. So that's C45, and this pin here is our negative pin. Right, so that's another 10 microfarads. Here we go again. Of circuit if we can. Let's pan out for this. There we go. A little bit stuck, so applying a bit more force, we should there we go. Right, let's measure this one. So where are we? Ten microfarads, ESR, or 10.95 microfarads. That's almost a little bit out. ESR 1 ohm. Okay. That one is a 10 microfarad. Another 10. Negative towards the back, so that would be C45 there. Another 10 microfarads, and you go. And let's solder that one back in. There we go. Okay, right, we have another one here, which is C44. That's another 10 microfarad, and minus is, working on it upside down like I have been, I do apologise, it's C47, 10 microfarads, and C47, negative leg is to my right, so let's get that one out. C47. There we are. C47 is out. Let's measure C47. Uh, 10.49 ohm, mega ohm, sorry, ohms, milliohms, microohms, can't remember. 1.7 nanofarads, microfarads. What am I on about? And 1.7 ohms, the SR value. Okay. Let's grab another 10 microfarad, remembering that negative is to my right. There we go. Okay, coming in for the kill with the soldering there. Okay, there's one. Two. Right, that's that one out the way. So we've done this one, this one, this one, and this one, I think. So yeah, we've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we do have 4 replaced. I'm interested to have a look at this really fat one down here, which is a 47 microfarad. So 47 one of these. It's down by the IC. So negative is, so that's C64, 47 microfarads. Negative is, so I'm going to be mounting this, doing this slightly differently. Negative is down towards me. So negative is this pin here. So let's get that one out of the way. C64. Because we are quite close to that IC, I don't really want to hang around here too long with the soldering iron, so heat, as minimal amount of heat as possible. So to give that a bit of a tug, so apply pressure underneath and apply a bit of heat to this pin. There it goes. Negative towards me, remember that. So 47 microfarads apparently. Let's put it in the tester and see what it's measuring out at. .22 microfarads apparently. Okay, that's different. Let's try that again. .74 ESR 0.70 ohms. It is high. Don't know if capacitors go high in ohmage on farads or not. Okay, let's try this one, which is 47 at 25 volts. .48.19. So that's actually more within tolerance. Negative towards me, obviously. Remember that. Positive towards the top. Negative towards me. Okay. Let's get that one sorted out. One, two. Are you doing weird Chinese origin? Capacitor tester. Strange thing that it is. So that's the one immediately next to the IC. So that's our main servo control chip, from what I understand. That's the main Syscon controller. Right, another small capacitor up here, which is negative towards the top. That one is a 10 microfarad, negative towards the top on that one. So let's get that one. That is C02, negative towards the top, C02. Or is that C62? I do apologise, that is C62. negative towards the top. Alright, let's get you out. Okay, double check that negative. Negative towards the connector. So there's the connector, that's the one we're removing. C62, here we go. Again, because we're close to that IC, I don't really want to be in the region for too long. There we go, there's one leg, and there's the other that's coming. It's definitely coming. There we go. Negative top. Okay, let's measure this one. (11) with an ASR of 1.4, so that's a little bit helps. Another 10, negative towards the top. C62. Okay. There we go. There we go. And there we go. A small pile of capacitors being created in front of me. Right, let's chop that off. There we go, so that's the two main ones around the integrated circuit that I wanted to replace. So we have a couple up here. That one is a 10, this one is another 10, so we've got a pair of 10s. So let's do this one first, which is C69, negative to the left. Socket is ready, C69, negative to the left. There we go, C69, out you come. It's a bit of heat on that one, I think. There she comes, and we're out. So that is C69, 10 microfarads. Let's pop her in the tester. Uh, 9917 nanofarads. That's about right if you're going for microfarads. So that's another 10. Negative to the left. Okay, coming in again. So we have one there, one there. Okay. That's another one out the way. And we've got a 10 microfarad C63 with negative down towards me. So C63 negative towards me. So let's get that one out the way. Sorry, C68. It looks like a 3 when you look at it quickly. There's one. And there's the other. C68, that's negative to the bottom. There we go, let's C68 out, negative to the bottom. Let's measure that one out, see what she comes up at. (9436 nanofarads, ESR 1.4 ohms. Slightly low, if anything. So another 10, negative towards me. I keep repeating these things because I don't want to get the orientation wrong. So if I'm repeating things, it keeps them fresh in my mind. And this is the other reason why I record a lot of what I'm doing. It's so that I've got a log of what I've actually done to this particular deck. And uploading them to YouTube is mainly just to get them off my PC. Also so that other people can sort of benefit from the journey that I'm embarking on. And if you find it interesting, then that's a convenient side effect, or a pleasant side effect. I'm sure there are other YouTubers that do similar things. And there are a number of other YouTubers that I subscribe to who do seem to do these sort of similar train of thoughts repair videos, because it really does provide a good sort of almost a blog of what you're doing, or a vlog as the kids would say these days. Something I was thinking of the other day was I was playing around on the internet back when it was not trendy to do so. So we're talking, you know, sort of late 90s. And back then I was pretty with it from a net sort of perspective, but it was a very sort of geeky domain with very sort of geeky people like myself. When it became more sort of mainstream, it did become more sort of geared towards the masses, and made it sort of almost more acceptable to go online and browse the web. My first job was at a company called UK Online, and UK Online were at the time an internet service provider. They've eventually got swallowed up into Sky, because they were part of the EasyNet group, so they were sort of the consumer arm of EasyNet, or the sort of general public consumer. As EasyNet was very much a business internet service provider. So I was there for a couple of years before moving on to another job role, and I was there from 2000 to 2002, and this was at the point where DSL didn't exist as such for consumers. Everything was dial-up, and you had a lot of people getting online for the first time using 56k modems, in some case, you know, sort of 2833.6. Some people were using 14.4 dial-ups, and you had this whole sort of brave new world of frontiersmen, so to speak, people going onto the internet for the first time. And there was a bit of corrosion on the leg of C24. You know, these people sort of going on there for the first time and seeing what it was all about. And a lot of people didn't really understand it. There were multiple sort of issues with sort of people trying to get connected, and you had a lot of very angry people in those days, to be honest with you. So yeah, it was interesting times. So that was that. That was C24. We had a bit of corrosion around that. Orientation. Negative is, I think it was, hang on, you can see which leg's got the crustiness on it. The leg that was a bit crusty was the negative leg. As you can see, the remnants of the crustiness. So that was a 47 micrograms. Negative towards that pot. There we go. So if it's a bit of corrosion around it, that suggests to me that that capacitor has been leaking. So you had a lot of sites in their sort of infancy. eBay was only just becoming a thing. Google was only just becoming a thing. And the internet really was in its sort of stages of infancy. DSL connections were limited to, I think, 512 kbps, kilobits per second. And in order to have a DSL connection, you had to have someone come round, physically install the filter onto the wall, because the technology had not shrunken enough to allow a filter to be contained within a small dongle that you just plug into the phone socket. So you actually had to have an engineer come out to install your DSL connection for you. It was also quite unreliable, but for a lot of businesses it opened up high-speed internet connectivity for relatively low cost. So you did have a lot of businesses at the time using DSL connections. I actively avoided the DSL team because it just seemed to be a lot of hassle, to be honest with you. You had a lot of very angry people, very angry business customers who were quite demanding when their DSL connection did not work. So yeah, I was more on the consumer side, and then I was unfortunately made redundant, and that sort of started me off on the career that I have now. So it was a good thing that happened in the end. Right, let's have a look at C32. So C32 is (10 microohms), negative facing up. So let's get that one out of the way. So 10 microohms seems to be entwined with this other capacitor. There we go. That one's actually now free to roam, so I need to be careful with that one because we've got a mass of 3 capacitors pretty much into one socket there, which is a bit dicey, but I guess it's something that works. Let's bridge that one out of the way gently. Let's get this one out of the socket here. So remember, negative is away from me. Yep, negative away. There we go. Right, that one is a 10 microfarad, so let's get that one in, hit start, see where we are with that one. 10.2 10 microfarads, 1.3 ohms. So that one's probably all right actually. But since we're replacing, we're going to blanket replace. So 10 microfarads, negative away from me. And this is where we need to do a fair amount of soldering to get all of these back in play. So we need this one to bridge down here. So that's C33 and C33. C33 is made up of, it looks like 2 capacitors, which is interesting. Right. So this will test my soldering skills to the very pinnacle. There we go. And there we are, that's nice. This one here, a little blob on there, and there she goes. And back in. And quite happy with it as well. So let's just scrape away any residue. That's gone. It's gone as well. And snip this one off. And this one. That was negative away, which it is, and that's replaced. So then we've got this small cluster down here. So this one by the IC, we're looking at C7, and C7 negative to my left. So let's do that one. C7 negative to my left. C7 negative to the left. That's confusing. So C7 negative to the left. So this one's C7, I think. That's C7. That's definitely C7. There she is. Again, conscious I want to keep the heat away from the board. Negative to your left, if you remember rightly. I keep repeating, but there you go. Let's measure the value on that one. That is 0.47 microfarads. So that is a tiny one. Let's look for a 0.47. We have a 0.47. 0.47 at 50 volts. Funny enough, that is 0.47 at 50 volts, so that's good. We have one of those. 0.4. Ah. Do you so do one. Ah. 519.9, 3.2%. That's quite high. 519. So that's over 4.7 actually. Let's put that in. It's our new 4.7. 5.4% ohm. I don't know. I'm not just convinced that's giving us the right measurements. C07 negative away from me. So that's this side, this side. That's the one right by that IC. Not sure what IC1 does without the service manual, so I still need to get hold of a service manual. Let's plop on. Blob a solder to that one. blob of solder to that one. There we go. And scrape away some of the residue that we have. There we go, looking nice, looking good. Right, let's get that one trimmed down. Right, the next one is C04, so negative is towards me on that one. C04. We'll check the value once we've got it off the circuit. C04 negative towards me. C04. Let's warm that one up a bit. There's one. C04. Warm her up again. And two. And let's get C04 out. Might need to warm that one on the side. There. And here. Okay. There's one leg out. That's the negative leg that's causing us the hassle. They're actually both ready to come out. So that was negative towards me again. Let's measure that one. That one is a 47 microfarad. Yeah, 47 microfarad. So let's get that one in circuit. Sorry, into the tester. And C04, 47, that's actually quite high, that's at 59, that one is measuring out at. So let's grab us 47. Negative towards me, if I remember rightly. So yeah, negative towards me. That's how it came out. Right, let's double check that a second. So C04 is negative towards me. So let's get that soldered in. I've also noticed I accidentally unsoldered a leg on a resistor, so we'll get that back in as well. There we go, and there we go, and there we go. That's better. Nice blob of solder to join those two together. Let's get that one chopped out the way. And a bit of scrape just to there we go. Okay, so that was a 47 microohms. That's still in the tester. 47 microohms. Farads, microfarads. So that's another one replaced. Okay. What should we do next? Let's do these two fatties. So we have negative towards me, that's C31, negative towards me. I think that's going to be quite another large one, so C31. Negative is down towards me, double check that. Yep. Okay, let's get that one out of play. C31. There. That's that. C31. There we go. C31, negative towards me. Let's wriggle that one out of there. I need to borrow this just to tease that out. That's providing a bit of resistance. Well, it's actually come out very easily. There is the problem. There she goes. And we're out. Another slightly corroded leg on that one as well. So that's 47 microfarads. It's measuring out at 52, so let's put this one in with negative leg towards me. C31, negative leg towards me. C31 is in, that's 47 microfarads. We're replacing with 40. .47 microfarads. That's negative towards me, so negative towards the top. Get that one soldered back in. 1 and 2. Right, next one is this one here, is C05, that's another 47, and negative is to my left, so let's get that one out. C05, negative to my left, 1, 2, 05, negative is to the left, so 05. Sticking a little bit on this leg here, I think. There she goes. Right. Let's pop that into the tester. Still testing. 49. 47. 47. Negative to the left, so that's C05. There we go. In you go. And let's apply a bit of heat to that. There we go. Negative was to my left, which it still is. Let's clip this one's legs. Go, and there we go. C12 is the next one. That is again negative to the left. So that's C12, I think. Yeah, so C12. No, hang on a minute. That is. So I'm looking at this one. Under this fly lead here, that one is C15. So C15, negative to the left. C15 is this one, I think. It's right next to a test point. Yeah, C15. C15. This one. It's going to need a bit of coercion, that one, I think. Need to do solder removal on that one. So C15. There. Negative to the left, C15. So C15 should be a 10 microfarad. So let's measure that one out. 10 microfarads, 9530 nanofarads, that's about right. So 10 microfarads, this one. Negative to the left, so negative to the left. In you go. Negative to the left. Keep saying that, I know, but don't want to get the orientation wrong. go. Right, let's get some light onto the situation. It's getting quite dark in here. Alright, there's a bit of light on the situation. So let's get these legs chopped off. Ooh, I think we have that capacitor. Just make sure that that's not touching that test point. Okay. Right, the next one we're looking at is C12, negative is down towards me, C12. C12, which would be this one, I think. C12, which is another 10 microfarad. Microfarads, negative toward me, 10, negative facing down. Let's get that in. There we go. Legs off, that one, and this one. Right, let's do this fat one here, negative towards me. That one is C17. C17 is 47 microfarad. C17, which is there. So let's get that one out of the equation. Negative towards me, C17, here we go. There's another one next to an IC, so I don't really want to dwell too long near the ICs. coming out. This one is the sticking point. So that negative is towards me on that one. That one is particularly sticky in there, isn't it? That is definitely coming. A good old tug should see it coming through. Actually, it is that other one that's causing us the issues. So it's taken part of the track with it, which I seem to see a lot on circuits this age. So it was doing it on the Sonys, but to a far more severe degree on the Sonys, to be honest with you. Negative towards me. That one is 47 microohms. 47. Negative is down towards me. Let's get that one in. Measure it out, see what it's coming up as. 47, so that's doing that. Showing out at 52. This one is 47 microfarads. Negative towards me, so negative is down towards me. Okay, let's get that one soldered in. Hopefully I've got enough track left to play with. Yeah, should do. There we go. Right, what's next? Let's do this one here. C1. Negative is actually upwards on this one. Negative is facing away. C number 1, negative is facing away. Double check that. Yes, it is. C1, negative away. C1. Need a bit more solder sucker action on that one. C number 1, negative is facing away. That one is 10 microfarads with the negative facing north, let's say, of north on the board. 10 microfarads. .59, so it's not actually that far out. 1.3 ohms ESR, so negative is away. There we go. There we go. Right. There we are. So that one was a 10. Replacing a 10. Next one is C20, and that is a 47. So let's get C20 out of play. Negative is, oh, negative is actually to the right. Negative to the right. Let's get that one out of there. That's a 47, which left a big residue of solder, which is a bit annoying. C20, negative is to the right. Ah, fiddlesticks. Where are you? There you go. Right, 47. So, whilst that's testing, let's find a 47 with the negative to the right. Let's run out at 53, so 47. Negative to the right, in she goes. There's, oh, there's one, two. Right, there we are. So that was C20. Right, what's the next one? Negative away again, C22. Yeah, negative towards the right, C22. Pretty certain that's C22. What's it? Hang on. It's this one here, which, oh, sorry, that's C19. So C19 is negative that side there. C19. Oh blimey, that's lifting quite a bit of track there actually. Don't really want it to do that. Actually, quite a bit of track has actually separated, so that was negative that way. That is supposed to be a 10 microfarad. So whilst that's testing, let's grab out a 10. Oh, I've put it in the wrong socket. $11. So you could argue that's 10% out. Negative to the right. Yeah, negative to the right. Okay, this one, I think we're going to have to be a bit creative with the soldering. So what we're going to have to do is gently carve away some of the track so that we have some exposed copper on the track. What I want to do with that is to bridge the solder across. So if I heat this up, there we go. So the solder is bridged over, so we've got a nice blob of solder. A nice blob of solder on that one. So we should have enough there to make contact. Right, so we've only got 3 left now, so let's go for this one here. Negative is down toward me. That is C. It's either C14 or C22. I think it's C14. Or is it C13? This is where it's confusing. You've got 2 in very close proximity. 3 actually. So C22, yes, C22, that one. C22 has negative down towards me, so let's get C22 removed. C22. Got a feeling the solder sucker's getting a bit grubby inside, so let's see if I can get this open. It's leaving more residue than it actually seems to be removing at the moment, so some of them you can actually separate so that you can clean them out. This one's a cheaper ones, which I don't think you can actually do quite so easily, but let's give it a go. Yeah, so that does come off, and if we push this down, you can see all the solder is collected in there, so I'm going to just go and clean that off. There we go, it's a bit cleaner. So that one is a 47 microfarad, and that was the negative was toward me, I think. So 47 and 47, negative towards me. Is that 47? It looks a lot smaller. I keep making this mistake. No, it is 47. And the fat one that's come out is also 47, so negative towards me. Right. Okay. Right, C22, which was a 47 microfarad capacitor, measures out on the tester at 58.42, which that's quite high. So let's solder that one back in. There we go. Right, let's chop the legs off that one. Got two capacitors left. We have one that's negative towards me, which is C14, so let's get that one out of the way. C14 is negative towards me. C14, negative towards me. Let's get that one out. So C14 is this one. It's left a leg behind, that's irritating. Leg is it left behind? This one. There you go. So that's the leg out of there. Let's see if I can find the actual leg. There it is. Let's pop it back inside the capacitor. That's not the capacitor. There's the capacitor. Let's see if we can pop it back inside. Though, to be honest with you, I think once the leg is out, that is pretty much it. Yeah, I'm not going to bother even measuring that. That one is 10 microfarads, and that was negative towards me, so 10 microfarads, negative down. Get that one out. And we're off. Just make sure there's a definite separation between those two. Right, and the final one is C70, where the negative is to the left. Taking a slightly different tact with that one. Tack rather, and making it so that that is vertical. Right, C70. Okay, C70 is out. C70 is 10 microfarads, and it was negative to the left. It's not actually that far out according to the tester. Negative to the left on that one. So let's get that one soldered in. That's that. And there we go. Right, that's every single purple electrolytic on this board has been replaced. Whether that will work, I really don't know. I doubt it will, but at least we can say that this board has had all of those potentially suspect capacitors removed. So I'm going to power off the soldering iron because it doesn't actually take that long to power it back on. Move the tester out of the way, and we're going to pan back up onto the rear of the unit. And what we are going to do is plug everything back in again. So to sort of logically assume that we're in the right area with these. So we've got green here, yellow was up here as well, that was 6, 4. We've also got this red one, which I don't know where that goes. This is why we really need a service manual for this. I'm just going to have to sort of logically assume that we're in the right sort of area. It's these two that cause the confusion now. So we have 6, 6. So any markings on there? 6, 1, 6, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. So this one has written on the side 6, 2. So 6, 1, 6, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. 6, 1, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2. Alright, let's make the assumption that red is onto this one, and this one is onto this one. Right, okay. All plugged back in there. Let's reconnect the coax. Let's reconnect the power. Power in. Whoa! And that it was not connected correctly. What did I blow up? I blew up something quite spectacularly, actually. Capacitor, by the looks of it. Or was it a capacitor? Whatever it is, it's splumped all over the board. It was a... is it C31? Yeah, C31. Okay, that's not the end of the world. Probably because these two are mixed up. Let's put those two back in. This is why you need to be careful with these things. C31. Honestly cannot remember what value that was. If I can find the outer shell, I would be able to determine which one it was. But that has gone into orbit. See what happens without it in place.
Safety by following a bearing taken from the sun. It uses polarized patterns detected in the sky to keep it on track.
Yeah, so playback is slightly fast.
See a tiny parallel with the journey of the sun across the sky.
And it's still not great.
The scarab's life cycle also presents a hopeful image of continuity.
So we need to replace that one. I think that was one of the bigger ones, actually.
The dung will become a subterranean larder for its young. In 3 months' time, they will emerge.
So, C31, I powered the unit back on again. We still have a duff picture. Capstan speed is actually fast because that capacitor is no longer in play, so we need to replace that. So, and this is what I was saying earlier about keeping a track of things that you've replaced, because now I can go back through the video and have a look to see what C31 actually what value C31 actually is. So I shall do that quickly and we'll see where we are shortly. So I've just replaced C31 again. And I'm watching it like a hawk. Machine is on. It's running cool. Yep, I don't think that's going to blow up again. Touch fake wood. Let's turn on the television. Let's hit play. Audio is fine. Playback is at a normal speed again now. Oh, it's actually still a bit fast. Oh.
It's a time of danger and uncertainty.
I don't know anymore. Oh, it might be because I've replaced these capacitors with new capacitors. The whole deck is out of sync. So I don't really want to start playing around with these potentiometers. If I'm going to, I need to mark them up. So this one is horizontal towards this test pot.
The sun's unlimited power and the water from the Nile create a paradise in the heart of a desert. Safe within their narrow green world, the daily rhythms of life appear to continue for the moment.
Oh, hello.
Of course, the world does change.
We've got something.
This world is in constant flux. The Egyptians know it and fear it.
Okay, so that's obviously
Their
head drum
paradise
speed.
could so easily be lost.
This one,
The people are aware of the fragility of their world.
that's another head drum
Subject to
speed.
forces they cannot control.
Let's
Now,
put it out
is
again.
a critical time.
About
Despite the constancy
there.
of the sun's daily cycle, Its yearly cycle creates massive change. The seasons brought by the sun on the other axis of their world, the Nile.
Capstan speed is a bit out, so I need to find whichever one is the capstan speed.
Every year they wait for the river to burst its banks and flood. Without it, they cannot irrigate the land and raise their crops. Without it, there would be no civilization. The Egyptians have already seen the river fail them, with catastrophic consequences.
Catastrophic consequences? Hello, I'm talking too fast.
Destroyed the Old Kingdom, the age of the pyramids. Much of the population had simply starved to death when the floodwaters failed.
Obviously, if it doesn't give any results, I put it back to where it was. Oh.
As the seasons progress,
yeah, that's
balance between order and chaos is about to shift.
They look to the one person with the responsibility to maintain this balance, the one who must ensure the Nile will flood. The Pharaoh. He must mediate between his people and the gods. He derives his power from his father, the god Osiris. Osiris had taught his people how to use the Nile to cultivate the land. But Osiris had a brother, Seth, who was jealous of his power and murdered him by cutting him into pieces and scattering them over the land. But the broken body of Osiris was bound back together and restored to life.
Osiris is depicted with a green face to reflect the fertility he brought to the country. Egyptians think of him each time the seasonal flood brings their land back to life. For his crime, the murderer Seth was banished to the desert, the realm of chaos,
from where he forever threatens to return and destroy the Egyptian world with plague, drought, and famine. The future of Egypt rests on the shoulders of the Pharaoh. He must keep Seth's chaos at bay. The people of Egypt look to him to protect them.
If he fails them now and cannot ensure the flood, they will face the same catastrophe that befell the Old Kingdom.
Each summer, his kingship is tested. It's mid-June. Egypt starts to heat up. The threat of a cherished continuity and consistency of the villagers' lives begins. The desert sands advance, threatening to extinguish the river. Without the Nile, the Egyptian world will cease. Water is becoming an ever more precious commodity. Competition for the Nile's dwindling pools becomes intense.
Well, it's not brilliant, but that's a heck of a lot better than it was.
Pushed to the limits of endurance, male hippos become extremely dangerous as they fight over their diminishing territory. Often these bouts are fought to the death.
That's head drum speed, I would say.
The Nile's paradise
Too fast. Too fast.
Caught up in the fighting, female hippos aggressively defend their young.
Capstan speed is a little bit out, to be honest with you.
The Egyptians respect their bravery and worship them in the form of
It needs a proper setup, and to do that I need the service manual, basically to tell me what all of these potentiometers do. I'm gathering that this blue one is probably drum speed. I think there's drum freewheel speed and drum idle speed or something, I don't know. Those three there seem to deal with capstan
Crocodiles
speed.
crave the heat of the sun to maintain their own body temperature. This brutal season presents little
General
challenge.
tape speed is actually a lot better than it was. There's still bits of that capacitor
The
all
river is
splumped
becoming a
everywhere.
very dangerous place to be.
What do these
It's a
two
stench
do?
of death.
So let's turn this one. Sure what that one does. These might be
Crocodiles
record.
from miles around. Some are over 4 meters long.
These might be record level ones. So you wouldn't actually know until you try recording with it. I'm rather impressed with that. That has...
Even for crocodiles, it's not easy to bite through the thick hide. Adaptability.
That's come back surprisingly well.
The ability of crocodiles to thrive while others suffer inspires awe in the Egyptians.
Ideally I need a better coax cable because I've bodged it slightly to get it to display.
Worshipped as the god Sobek.
Not perfect.
While they are alive, they are pampered. When they die, they are embalmed and buried.
That's running a lot better than it was. You're actually getting a picture out of it.
As
That's
the ground bakes and the Nile dwindles,
definitely
the
something.
Egyptians pray for the return of the flood. An entire civilization holds its breath. The pharaoh's position is now precarious. He must prove he can influence the gods. His people.
So this is pause. Yeah, you can hear the drum speed change. Let's slow down. That's about the right speed, this one. Minute adjustments around there.
They know the Nile has risen before to replenish their world, and they yearn for its arrival again. But has the pharaoh been able to appease the gods this year? All along the valley, people are looking to nature for signs of hope. And at last, one appears. Flocks of sacred ibis arrive from the south.
Just remembered, there's a vertical sync one on the back of this. Not sure if that's not made a difference, I don't think.
Despite its critical importance, Egyptians don't understand the nature of the flood. They believe the Nile bubbles up far to the
Look what
south
this
from
one
the depths
does.
of an underground sea. Over a few weeks, the water level rises by nearly 10 meters. The sun-baked land is transformed into a flooded plain covering thousands of square kilometers.
It's not really doing much.
The arrival of this dark water is potentially dangerous.
Oh, the
To
arrival.
tame the water, the pharaoh oversees dam building and irrigation.
God, oversee that damn building. Right, where are we?
The pharaoh has not failed his people. The rebirth of the Nile marks the Egyptian New Year. As heralds of the flood, the sacred ibis that now populate the river are held in high esteem. As they probe for snails, they resemble scribes dipping pens into ink, so are also credited with the power of knowledge. But in reality, they are important for a more practical reason. Evidence from autopsies on mummies has shown that Egyptians suffered from bilharzia, a liver parasite carried by water snails. As the ibis eat the snails, they make pools safe for the villagers to bathe. The sacred ibis symbolized the god Thoth, god of wisdom and master of time. Before long, Thoth will play a pivotal role in the pharaoh's destiny. The rising waters bring the Nile Valley back to life. It becomes a refuge in the heart of the desert, attracting thousands of different birds on their migration across Africa. As the flood reaches its height in late summer, the parched swamps of papyrus at the margins of the Nile are rejuvenated. These swamps are full of creatures attracted by an abundance of fish.
So it's the capstan speed that is, I think, potentially causing the issues. I think I've got the drum speed sorted. Just nudging these three down here. Oh, that was at the base of its travel.
Fishing is big business for the villagers of Jumeri. Fish are a currency by which even temple builders are paid.
So that's at the base of its travel there. Does he base them all out?
The secret of the Nile's gift was not the water itself, but the load that was carried into Egypt. Millions of tons of rich salt. When the waters begin to recede in the autumn, the black silt that remains is so rich that it appears to create life spontaneously.
Let's nudge them up. Each one slightly. To the maximum of their travel.
Frogs and toads seem to be born directly from the black mud. Frog amulets are given as gifts to celebrate the Egyptian New Year, symbols of the resurrection of the
Yeah,
Nile.
tracking. Not really doing very much.
This is the busiest time of the year for the farmers. The formless mud is transformed into an ordered grid of fields. The Nile's gifts are harnessed.
Nudge that drum speed. Up a touch. That's too high. Actually, let's pause it. You don't want it hunting. You want it steady. That's too high. Steady about there, I think.
Now, the myth of Osiris and his jealous brother Seth will be played out. The sowing of the new crops is a reminder of Osiris. Murder.
But that's a lot better than it was. I'm really impressed with that. That's... I've actually really got somewhere with that. So, that's all the capacitors I replaced. All of those grotty purple electrolytics, of which there are many.
The Nile's water irrigates the silk-rich land it has created.
So, I just need to put this all back together, and I think next time I'm going to be testing... I'm going to get a better RF cable for this, as I'm just using one that's a bit bodgy at the moment, just to prove that it works.
As the crops grow, Osiris rises
But
again.
yes, that is a lot better. I'm really pleased I've actually got somewhere with this. That's absolutely brilliant. Well, good to end on a high. I think, as I say, the next thing that I need to do is to get a service manual so I can actually adjust these potentiometers properly. But I think we are certainly in a much better position than we were at the start of the video. So if you've enjoyed this, if you found this journey interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. After a further tweak on the head drum speed,
On its bald head and neck saves prolonged feather cleaning. Uses its bulk and outstretched wings to try and dominate the carcass.
well, the pause isn't too bad. Yeah, you can actually, if I pause it, you could actually hear the head hunting earlier, or head motor, head drum speed, head motor, etc. hunting. I've now adjusted both that blue and white one, and it's a lot more stable, definitely. In fact, that is the freeze frame I'm getting out of it. Pause is good, that's nice to know.
It's midsummer. The Nile is now so low it's possible to walk across it.
And I think next is I need to adjust the capstan speed, as I say.